I did not sleep well that first night. The house had sounds I had forgotten. The zinc roof ticking as the night cooled. The forest beyond the compound doing what forests do when people are not watching them. And underneath all of it, I kept thinking about Emeka's face when he said tomorrow. Like he had been holding something that belonged to me and was finally close to returning it. I got up before my father was awake. I was going to find Emeka. I had waited 8 years for answers. I was not going to wait until he decided the time was right. Stay with me. He was already in his workshop. He looked up when I arrived and he was not surprised. He said, "I thought you would come early." I said, "You thought correctly." He set down what he was working on. He said, "Sit down, Obi." I sat. He said, "Before I tell you this, I need you to know that I have been trying to decide for years whether it was my place to say it. I kept deciding it was not. And then you called and said you were coming, and I thought, someone needs to tell her. And I am the one who knows. So it should be me." He told me that my mother did not die of illness. The village said she died of illness, a fever that came quickly and took her fast. That is what my father told me. That is what I believed for 8 years. Emeka said, "She did not die of illness, Obi. Your mother had the OG gift, the ability to speak to the ancestors on behalf of the living. She was the keeper for your family, and she was killed for it." I said, "Killed?" He said, "Yes." I said, "By who?" He said, "That is the part I do not fully know. I know it was connected to the gift. I know someone in this village was afraid of what she could see with it. I know your father sent you away the week after she died, because he was afraid of what would happen if you stayed. Because the gift does not die with the keeper. It goes somewhere. And he knew where it was going." He looked at me directly. He said, "The gift went to you, Obi. It has been in you since the week your mother died. That is why Mama Nena looked at you the way she did when you arrived yesterday. She could see it." He said, "You have been carrying your mother's gift for 8 years without knowing. And now that you are back in Ugoba, it is beginning to wake up." I sat in the compound for a long time after I came back from Emeka's workshop. I told myself everything he had said was the product of a village that had been telling itself stories for generations. I told myself I was an accountant. I worked with numbers. I believed in what I could verify. And then I heard something from the direction of the iroko tree. I walked to the iroko tree. I do not know why. My feet went there before I decided to go. I put my hand on the bark, and it was warm. Not the warmth of sunlight on wood. Something underneath the surface, like a heartbeat. Very slow, very deep. I pulled my hand back immediately. Then I put it back. Because I am not someone who steps away from things just because they frighten me. The warmth was still there. And then I heard something. Not a voice, not words. Something underneath words. The way music is underneath lyrics. A feeling. Directed at me. Coming from somewhere very old. The feeling was, you came back. Finally. I took my hand off the tree. I walked back to the compound. And I sat down and I said to myself, Obi, something is happening. And you are going to have to decide whether you are going to face it or run from it. I had run once before. I was not going to run again. Episode 3 is coming. And episode 3 is when Mama Nena finally speaks to Obi. Subscribe to Moonlight Tales by Joy. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Like this video, share it, and tell me, do you think the gift is real? I read every single one.